Have you ever looked up at the stars and felt your own fleeting existence? The vastness of the cosmos, the sheer scale of time, can make our individual lives seem incredibly brief. Now imagine a future where science offers you immortality. A future where aging is no longer an inevitability, but a curable condition. You could witness the rise and fall of civilizations, watching empires crumble and new societies emerge from the ashes of the old. See humanity reach distant galaxies, venturing beyond our solar system to explore the mysteries of the universe, and accumulate knowledge beyond imagination. Libraries of Alexandria would seem like mere footnotes in your endless quest for understanding. But this gift is exclusive, only for you and a select few. Imagine a world where immortality is a luxury, available only to the privileged elite. Would you accept eternal life, knowing everyone you love will eventually be gone, fading away like whispers in the wind, leaving you to walk through the ages alone, a solitary figure amidst the ever-changing tapestry of time? Our lives are meaningful because they end. The finite nature of our existence gives each moment its weight and significance. Relationships are precious because they're finite. Knowing that our time together is limited makes us cherish every connection, every shared experience. To remove that boundary for a privileged few, to grant immortality based on wealth or status, would rewrite the rules of being human. It would fundamentally alter our understanding of life, death, and everything in between. The allure of eternal life is powerful, a siren song promising endless possibilities and boundless experiences. But the reality is clouded with ethical weight. The potential consequences of such a profound change are staggering. Is a solitary eternity paradise, a utopian dream come true, or a prison of endless loneliness? A gilded cage where the weight of time crushes the spirit? An immortal life in a mortal world means constant loss, a never-ending cycle of saying goodbye. Every bond temporary, every connection destined to be severed by the relentless march of time, every friendship ending in grief. The pain of loss would become an unbearable burden, a constant companion throughout eternity. You'd become a living relic, a forgotten artifact from a bygone era, watching time flow past while you remain unchanged, a silent observer as the world transforms around you. The very concept of community and belonging would be altered forever. How could you truly connect with others when your experiences are so fundamentally different? The question isn't just can we live forever, can we unlock the secrets of immortality through science? But should we, if it means severing our shared mortality? If it means creating a world where some are destined to live forever, while others are not? Technologies that could extend life are no longer science fiction. They're not just dreams confined to the pages of novels or the screens of movies. They're being developed right now. In labs around the world, scientists are pushing the boundaries of what's possible. We must ask ourselves these questions before the choice is upon us. Before we find ourselves at a crossroads, forced to make a decision with profound implications for the future of humanity. What kind of future do we want? What kind of world are we striving to create? One where immortality divides us, exacerbating existing inequalities and creating a new class of eternal elites. Or one where our greatest advancements uplift all of humanity. A future where the benefits of scientific progress are shared by everyone, regardless of their background or status. The race to conquer death has already begun, quietly unfolding in private labs and biotech startups. The world's wealthiest are pouring billions into defeating mortality, treating aging as a technical problem to be solved. This isn't about living a little longer. It's about stopping the clock entirely. Advances like genome mapping, CRISPR, and cellular reprogramming are at the cutting edge of biology. But who benefits first? Those who can fund entire research institutes with pocket change. The public narrative promises these breakthroughs will eventually help everyone, but history shows the rich always get there first. When the prize is life itself, the lag between rich and poor becomes an ethical chasm. While most worry about daily survival, a powerful few are focused on cheating death. They're not just building empires, they want to oversee them forever. This pursuit is already setting the stage for the greatest inequality in human history. The questions aren't for the distant future, they're for right now. The foundations of a divided world are being laid before our eyes. At a tech conference, I spoke with a billionaire obsessed with radical life extension. To him, the human body was outdated hardware, aging a series of bugs to be patched. He invested billions, not just funding research, but testing unregulated therapies on himself. "What's the point of wealth if you're not around to spend it?" he asked. There was no mention of ethics or the broader impact, just a personal quest to outpace mortality. He envisioned a future where he and his peers with centuries of experience would guide humanity. His vision wasn't shared progress but a new aristocracy, defined by biology, not birthright. The world he's building challenges everything we know about justice and what it means to be human. His wager isn't just on his own life but on the future shape of our species. Imagine a world where the billionaire's wager pays off, a world transformed by the promise of extended life. Life extension perfected, but only for the ultra-wealthy, a privilege bought and paid for. Humanity splits, fractured along the lines of longevity. Mortals live and die as always, their lives a fleeting spark in the grand cosmic timeline, while immortals, the ageless, the Methuselahs, walk the earth, seemingly untouched by the ravages of time. They exist in fortified enclaves, shielded from the decay and decline that defines mortal existence, untouched by time and its relentless march. For mortals, life retains urgency and meaning, each moment precious, a race against the inevitable. For immortals, time loses all pressure, stretching out into an endless horizon. Immortals plan for centuries, their projects spanning generations, their vision unbounded by the constraints of mortality. They accumulate endless wealth, amassing fortunes that dwarf nations, their influence shaping the very course of history, and become a new kind of being, evolving beyond the limitations of their former selves. The psychological gulf is vast, an unbridgeable chasm separating two distinct species. Mortals rush to make their mark, striving for achievement and recognition in their brief time, while immortals drift through endless days, searching for meaning in a world where time has lost all significance. This division is deeper than any class or national divide, more profound than any political ideology. It's biological, a fundamental alteration in the very fabric of existence. Mortals might envy or resent the immortals, their resentment fueled by the injustice of their limited lifespans, who in turn could see mortals as ephemeral, even irrelevant, their concerns trivial in the face of eternity. The immortals' perspective on life, art, and society would be fundamentally different, shaped by centuries of experience and a detachment from the fleeting nature of mortal existence. Their concerns, boredom, asset management, and political stability for their endless lives, ensuring their continued dominance and comfort. Mortals' art and stories would be filled with urgency and loss, reflecting the preciousness and fragility of life. Immortals with detachment, a cold and clinical observation of the human condition. The two groups would struggle to understand each other, their experiences and perspectives so vastly different as to render meaningful communication almost impossible. This is the world we risk if immortality remains a luxury for the few, a dystopian future where life itself is stratified. Not just haves and have-nots, but live forevers and die soons, an existential divide that threatens to tear society apart. The very fabric of society, family, ambition, legacy, the cornerstones of human civilization, would be torn apart, unraveling the bonds that hold us together. The mortals would become a permanent underclass, their lives dedicated to serving the needs of the ageless elite, their hopes and dreams sacrificed for the comfort and longevity of their immortal masters. The immortals might see themselves as stewards, benevolent caretakers guiding humanity towards a brighter future, or simply as rulers, entitled to their power and privilege by virtue of their extended lifespans. This is the ultimate inequality. Existence itself, a chasm that divides humanity into the living and the virtually immortal. In this world, inequality is measured in time, not money. Immortal billionaires would have centuries to amass power, making social mobility impossible. The first wave immortals would rule, with later immortals always junior, and mortals forever at the bottom. Mortals' lives would be resources for the ageless elite. Art, philosophy, and religion would reflect the injustice of this fate. Rebellion and unrest would simmer, while immortals fortify their cities and invest in private armies. Family, legacy, and ambition would be redefined. Immortals might even avoid having children to protect their power. The gap between mortals and immortals would be existential, not just economic. Society would be locked in a cold conflict, a world where one group has all the time and the other has none. The very idea of equality would be shattered. This is disparity that can never be bridged. The rise of an immortal elite would shatter the principle of equality. How can we speak of equal rights when some live for 80 years and others for 8,000? Are immortals even human, or something else entirely? Democracy would falter. Immortal rulers could hold power for centuries, making change impossible. Justice would break down, life sentences meaningless, fines trivial, laws obsolete. The legal system, built on shared mortality, would collapse. Prejudice would deepen. Immortals might see themselves as inherently superior. Economic selection, not natural selection, would define survival. All men are created equal would become a cruel joke. The dream of equality would be dead. What happens when power lasts for centuries? Immortal rulers could entrench their ideologies for generations, stifling progress and change. Fairness would vanish. Immortality is a privilege bought, not earned. The immortals would wield godlike power unchecked by mortality or consequence. Global politics would shift mortal nations at a permanent disadvantage, immortals playing the long game. The world would be shaped by the ambitions of a handful of ageless individuals. Humanity would become pawns in their endless strategies. Who decides who gets immortality? The market, scientists, governments? If left to capital, we accept a permanently fractured species. The question isn't just political, it's a moral reckoning for all humanity. What happens to the human spirit in a world split by mortality? Mortality gives life urgency, inspires art, love, and meaning. For immortals, the drive to create and risk fades. Their culture risks stagnation and endless caution. Their art and ideas might become repetitive, their existence a slow twilight. Mortals, denied eternity, might burn with passion and creativity, forging powerful art and ideas. The cultural divide would deepen. Immortals see mortals as primitive. Mortals see immortals as soulless. No shared experience, no common ground. One group forgets how to die, the other forgets how to truly live. The soul of our species would fracture, perhaps beyond repair. The cost of immortality could be the loss of what makes us human. We stand at a crossroads, a pivotal moment in human history. The choices we make now will determine the kind of future we inhabit. One path leads to a divided, unequal future, a world where the benefits of life extension are reserved for a select few, exacerbating existing disparities. The other path, however, leads to a shared destiny, a future where everyone has the opportunity to live longer, healthier lives. Life extension technology isn't inherently evil. It's a tool, a powerful instrument with the potential for immense good. But its purpose and accessibility matter profoundly. Who controls it? Who benefits from it? These are critical questions. We must demand a global conversation, a worldwide dialogue involving all nations and cultures. This conversation must be about the ethics of immortality, the moral implications of extending human life indefinitely. It must include all voices, ensuring that every perspective is heard and considered, not just the powerful, the wealthy, or the technologically advanced. These are questions for all humanity, transcending borders, cultures, and socioeconomic status. Not just for boardrooms, where decisions are often driven by profit and self-interest. Or labs, where the focus can be solely on scientific advancement, without considering the broader societal impact. We must guide these technologies, steering them towards a future that benefits all of humankind, with principles of equity ensuring that everyone has a fair chance to access and benefit from these advancements, and justice, guaranteeing that these technologies are used responsibly and ethically. Public funding and international guidelines are essential to ensure equitable access and responsible development. These measures can help prevent a longevity gap, a scenario where only the wealthy and privileged can afford to extend their lives. We must value not just the length of life, the number of years we accumulate, but its meaning and connection to others, the quality of our experiences, and the relationships we build. The goal should be to lift the health and vitality of all people, improving the quality of life for everyone. Of all people, regardless of their background, circumstances, or where they live. Not create ageless supermen, an elite class of individuals who are detached from the rest of humanity. Our journey into the future, into this new era of potential longevity, should be one we take together, hand in hand, as a global community. Let's harness our ingenuity, our creativity, and our technological prowess for the benefit of everyone, ensuring that the fruits of our labor are shared equitably. Not just a privileged few, those who already possess wealth and power. We must not sacrifice our humanity, our compassion, and our empathy in the quest to conquer death, in our pursuit of immortality. We are all on this fragile planet together, sharing a common home and a shared destiny, bound by a shared fate, interconnected and interdependent. Let's choose a future, a brighter future for all, where our greatest achievements unite us, bringing us closer together, not divide us, creating further divisions and inequalities in our world.